Good morning, everybody, and we are live from New York City. I'm just kidding. Okay, guys. Well, there's nobody in the room anyway. So let's see here. I guess I'm just talking to myself. Just doing the morning routine. We'll be talking a little bit about longevity today, but we might be talking about a lot of subjects today. So we'll just see what happens. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is the water routine. This is literally how I get my morning started, other than I already drink my hydrogen water and brush my teeth. Those are typically the morning routine stuff. And for those of you who want to see what this looks like, there's only one of you in here, but hello and good morning to you. And good morning to you. Linda, hello there. So I'm filling up my carbon distiller. Why? Well, because this is how you clean your water to the highest degree. So I know you can put any kind of water in this, but I put actually filtered water into it just because it keeps the distiller cleaner, and then I don't have to use the carbon part of the distiller. So I'm just doing my morning routine. Good morning, Mr. Palmer. I just ordered one. There you go. I hope you enjoy it because I enjoy it. You need clean water. Well, look, that's just my opinion, right? I'm not saying they're trying to kill us. I know a lot of people say that, and maybe they are. I don't know. In fact, I saw the craziest thing today. Something about a suggestion for old people to commit suicide or something weird like that. And I was like, what in the world is this world coming to? I was thinking old people are so sweet typically, and here you're telling them to do something so crazy. And I think an elderly person from Japan did reply to that and said something along the lines of, yeah, maybe that would make sense economically or make sense in some weird shape, weird way, something rather, but that's complete lunacy to ask people to do that. It's like, yeah, maybe it'll make sense geopolitically. I mean, you know what? It would probably make sense for all humans on this planet to no longer be alive so that way we stop polluting and help the earth. But obviously, we're not going to do that. That's complete craziness. You don't want to, you know, you don't want to make all humans disappear. We're supposed to, like, be good to one another and love one another. Maybe if we just figured out how to treat the planet right, we wouldn't have to do that, right? I don't know. Thanks for all the thumbs up, guys, by the way. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about longevity today, at least according to the data. A lot of people are going to disagree probably, but remember, I'm a data guy. I'm going to go off the data, go off the science, and sometimes that upsets people. I don't know why. It's just data. You don't have to do it. You can follow the beat of your own drum and say, hey, that's not what I believe. I believe eating nothing but Twinkies is the way. Now, granted, do you guys want to see? You know what? Comment. Do you want to see my water routine? Well, I guess I just will. So this is what I'm doing. I'm putting all my clean water. I woke up this morning. See, I always turn on my distiller at night, so that way when I wake up, there's clean water waiting for me. And then I bottle it. What a concept, huh? Just put some nice clean water in here. Now, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bottle and set it up for the next one, which I'm actually going to do right now because the mornings are quite cold. But the first thing is I take minerals. I only put 1 drop just to kind of give that, almost like to neutralize. I just think it works well with the distilled water. And then I'm going to take it over here. I don't know if you can see any of this. And I'll put it in my distiller, turn it on, and fire it up. And there we go. And it starts, and it actually heats up the room. So that's kind of nice. All right, back to the morning breakfast because that's what we do. We eat. We are humans after all, and humans need food. Somebody the other day asked about breatharians, and I said, I just think that that's a bunch of nonsense. You cannot live off the air. If you could live off the air, then I guess it wouldn't be called the Garden of Eden. I think it's called the Garden of Eden because there's a lot of fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and beautiful things in that garden. That's probably it. Why? Because, well, didn't it say we should eat from it? All right, something like that. Let's see. Linda says distiller that is I already use the hydrogen. Very cool. All that, yeah, I got to get the water, hydrogen water going. And what else do we do here? Okay. And if you notice, I also had this one is another one I also use for my distilling. But see, this one's actually full of water. So see, I just kind of keep a little cycle going. Now they have more expensive units that do it all automatically, but I went with the cheaper, more inexpensive ones. Okay, so let's talk longevity, and my morning hydrogen smoothie has everything to do with it. So, according to the data, the people who live the longest. Now, if you really want to like really go down this list, the list is females who are smaller. These are the ones that live the longest. But also this goes, there's a little more broadness to it. Oh, by the way, I'm adding, I believe, and I don't think they've done any research on this, but I bet you anything that I'm right, because it just makes sense. And most of the stuff that makes sense in time ends up proving that I was right. No nutritional deficiencies. So that's Purium. This is why I use this power shake. It's basically just nutrition from food. It's like a multivitamin. And I like Purium because of the purity. And I guess if anybody wants to know where I get mine, I get it from ishoppurium.com. And if you want a ridiculously big coupon, $50 off. I mean, geez, some of the products will practically be free if you use the coupon, or super cheap. The coupon is Uprising144K. Got you guys a discount code. Yep, I always try to get those. Okay, now normally I would put 2 scoops of this, but because I have some left over. Oh, and I was finishing the thing about the people who live the longest. Yeah, small women, because women live longer than men, and eat primarily vegetables. So basically, the vegetarian diet seems to be the way to go, or very plant-based. It doesn't mean that you can never eat meat or anything. Now, this is the raw meal. I'm using it up because I had it from, I previously ordered a bunch of these. So that's what I'm doing. And but once it's gone, and I'm not going to buy any more because of the, it's not quite as pure. And then we're going to go with chlorella this morning, and just a splash of chlorella, not a ton. I'm just going to be using this up as we go here. Very potent stuff, very powerful stuff, and that's what we're at today. Yeah, so it really does appear that people who eat more vegetables live longer. What a surprise, huh? What a concept. I know these days, the world's so crazy these days that it feels like everybody's making stuff up. They're making stuff up about, like, you got to eat nothing but this or eat nothing but that. It's like, how about well balanced life? How about that? But nobody talks about that kind of stuff. And if you talk about it, well, what's going to happen? Everybody's going to get all weird about it. Okay, this looks pretty good, but it does look like it needs to be washed again, which is unfortunate. I like when it's really clean and I don't have to wash it, because it's a little time consuming. But that's what we're going to do. And it gives us time to chat if you guys want to chat. You guys can ask any questions you want. And but yeah, the other thing for longevity in regards to data is actually lower protein consumption. Now, that's one thing that people just don't quite understand. There is a different quality of protein. There's plant protein, there's animal protein, and it really does matter, believe it or not, according to, again, data. And I could go into how I've known a lot of this stuff actually, but I did get the information from one of the craziest sources. And I normally don't talk about it because it's just too weird. But all I'll say is that the science backs it up. I hate to say that. As far as longevity is concerned, remember, longevity, really clean blood. I mean, that's what I shoot for. Doesn't mean I don't have any animal product. In fact, remember, I go off the data. So, for example, I would say when I was doing research on vitamin D3, vitamin D3, which is a hormone, and they have stuff that's vegan or whatever, but I didn't go with that stuff because basically the data really looks like it's better to not have that kind because it absorbs better into the body if it's not vegan. It stays in the body longer. And vitamin D is tricky. It's not really a vitamin technically. It's a hormone. And I usually try to keep hormones out of my body. I don't like I just don't like anybody else's hormones in my body, really, for the most part, you know. And that's why I don't like to put certain things in my body. Um, so that's just the way that I like to do it because hormones they're just kind of crazy is what they are. I mean, I think that there's emotional things attached to hormones, and I like to be, well, I personally prefer to be very, very like peaceful. And when you even like, I think more, well, there is some data, and I think more will come out, but check out Temple Grandin because that one was amazing. But when you, for example, slaughter an animal and you stress out the animal, they release stress hormone, and guess what? It goes right into the meat, and then guess what? You eat it. And there's ancient knowledge about it more than there is more recent data as far as scientific evidence. But I always compile all of it. That's how I've created my protocols, and personally, I think that's what's brought a lot of success. I'm not closed-minded. I'm going to look everywhere. I'm going to look at history. I'm going to look at new scientific data. I'm going to look at what makes sense. So I'm a very independent thinker. And that's just what I've done. And it's worked really quite well. Actually, it worked way better than I expected. Some of the things that I've seen people's issues, medical issues, go away with certain techniques, I'm just literally shocked because I never would have thought that things like this would have worked. But again, if you guys have any questions, this is a good time because we're here and I'm live and I got a little bit of time. But yeah, so longevity, less protein, believe it or not. But see, I'm less focused on protein anyway, as much as I'm focused on overcoming nutritional deficiencies. Why? Well, because the data on it. I mean, it was so fascinating. If you ever want to read about nutritional deficiencies, basically, almost everybody is nutritionally deficient in something. Everybody almost. I've worked very hard to overcome nutritional deficiencies. And what happens with nutritional deficiencies is that they were literally able, in a lab, of course, they were literally able to turn disease off and on like a light switch by literally causing a deficiency and then fixing the deficiency. And when I saw that data, and the thing is, it makes sense too, because whatever you believe, I mean, which is fine, by the way, I respect whatever people want to believe. It's totally cool. Live in your own world, no problem. But if you do believe in quote unquote a higher power or a creator that created all things or whatever, the human body appears to be have created a certain way. And one of the things about the human body is that it's like a car. It's actually more like a building. I mean, even the ancient scriptures say that the body is the temple of God. Now think about temple. I mean, it's a building, it's a structure. And this temple requires pieces. I mean, just like any construct, any house or building or whatever, you need, the support beams, you need the concrete, you need all the wiring, you need everything, right? And I think that the human body is much the same way. It needs all the pieces to make the construct. And if you're missing pieces, like you're missing one support beam, well, the building will be a little weaker, you know? And if something comes along, like an earthquake or something, then it's not going to be good, right? Or in time, maybe it will get weaker and fall. So these are the kind of things that I wanted to overcome. And then I thought, well, how do you overcome nutritional deficiencies? It's funny because literally that's what the doctor called me about the other day because I just had blood work. I get my blood work checked kind of regularly to make sure that what I'm doing is working, right? And the thing is that everybody seems to be nutritionally deficient. So what the heck is going on here, right? In something. They're deficient in something. And so I created this hydrogen smoothie that I'm actually making right now. Every morning I make this after I drink my hydrogen water, obviously. Hydrogen water is the way I start my day every morning. Of course, I'll drink it throughout the day also, but what I'm trying to get at is nutritional deficiencies, in my opinion, are key. Now, they're more important than just straight up protein. Some people are like, nah, protein, everything is protein. But again, you got to look at the data for longevity. And it was weird when it was discovered that less protein, people would live longer. And that's because you don't want to just overload with, I mean, literally imagine overloading with a bunch of just like meat and eggs and drinking a bunch of milk. I mean, there's a lot of protein in that stuff. And I'm not saying that stuff's bad. I'm just saying too much of certain things is not a good thing. And I like the phyto, I like all the things that plants make more sense. That's the other thing. I mean, I hate to say it, they make more sense. It doesn't mean, again, never eat, meat or dairy or whatever. It's just that not only did it make more sense, but the data supports it. And so that's what I did when I was sick. And it's not only worked really good for me, it's worked really well for quite a few people, actually, much more than I ever would have expected. But it's not easy. I will say this. I don't think it's hard because I've created a little protocol that's actually quite easy. But it's a little tricky to make sure to get all your nutrients when you really are kind of more towards a vegetarian lifestyle. It is a little more tricky. However, apparently my blood work looks better than people who do eat that way, or even people who are highly overweight, consuming massive amounts of calories, and they still can't seem to get the nutrients. Like I said, it's all about the nutrients. And guess what helps, in my opinion? Absorb. Remember, none of this is medical advice. Nothing. There's no medical claims here, but a lot of fiber from fruits and vegetables, and the hydrogen helps with the absorption of nutrients, which is literally why the doctor had called. Because they're like, how are you getting not only the nutrients, but you're absorbing them? How are you absorbing them like this? Because we can't get our patients to absorb the nutrients. And looking at your blood, we really would like to know. I'm like, well, why don't you go and subscribe to my YouTube channel? It's free. I mean, it's totally free. Why not? That's the question. Why not? All right, I think I put too many greens in there today. But I guess the salad is starting to go towards leaning on going bad. All right, guys, let's keep moving forward. I got a lot of stuff to put in this smoothie today. Now we can really get rolling. Okay, let's see. Somebody has a few questions here. Draymore said, my point is can't even trust the data nowadays. I'll tell you what the data was, though, buddy, because you're clearly wrong on this one. Well, let's just answer his question. The data had nothing to do with a scientific test as far as, and by the way, if you're not going to trust data, you're never going to get anywhere. You have to learn how to read data, and you also have to learn who is doing the studies, because there are studies that are, for example, funded by the egg industry. And I have seen some of them, and I was able to see, by the way, organic ginger, this is what's going in next, that they clearly were fudging up the study on purpose to make certain things look better than what they really are. And so that is something always to be considered. And so, you can't just, as they say, throw the baby out with the bathwater and be like, well, no, all data is bad. It's like, well, sorry, but I don't think that's the most intelligent thing to do. We clearly need data to learn. So that's all I'll say about that. Okay, keep moving forward. And by the way, the data that they were looking at was actually of people in the world who lived the longest. So it wasn't like they were doing a scientific study. They were literally observing people and how they live. Just like in Japan, I've observed a lot of what they do because they do live longer than anybody in any industrialized nation. So anyway, Northern Yeti says, I believe you about the meat and stress hormones. Haven't had meat in a while. I can tell the difference. Yeah, I mean, it cleans the blood, by the way. Okay, Linda, are you familiar with Penny Kelly's book? Oh boy, here we go. Getting well naturally from the soil of the stomach. Nope, I haven't. Everybody always wants me to look at a boy. I'll tell you, if I read every book that everybody wanted me to look at, it's fine. By the way, I appreciate people sharing and stuff. That's not what I'm trying to get at. It's just that it seems that every single day somebody wants me to read something. And here's the problem with that. And then everybody else wants me to write a book. Why don't you write a book and then read your own book? Um, the thing is, look, I feel like I've already clearly figured something out, and I'm not trying to be rude. I researched for so many years, read a lot of books, and there's a lot of contradictory information. That's why I got tired of it. That's why I don't really like to read too much people's stuff, to be honest. I tend to just read more scientific evidence, but also, again, weigh it against what makes sense, and then weigh it against what happens in different cultures and the way they do things. And a lot of the data that I have found the most compelling is actually from Japan. I love the way those guys do scientific studies. They seem to be less biased to try to like certain industries in America, and the stuff that they figured out. Well, I mean, these guys are. I'm telling you, they're great scientists. Obviously, they're great engineers too, and they're the ones who figured out not only hydrogen, but they figured out all sorts of stuff, guys. And that's one of the reasons I want to go over there and share with you guys. I mean, there's certain things that I just can't even say on camera that I would like to say because, well, we don't have free speech. So let's go, Brandon. Right? Appreciate that guy for that. But yeah, there's things that I could tell you right now, but it would get me in trouble, which is too bad because it's really great info. I'll just say that there is a medicine out there. I can't say the name. Please don't type it in the comments or anything, because then I'll just delete this video and just stop rolling, because I don't need to get the channel in trouble. All I'm going to say is that it's one of the greatest medicines known to man. And this particular medicine was actually, a lot of people don't know that it was not only developed by the Japanese, but it was also enhanced and basically transformed, because it wasn't originally this medicine. It was something else. And it was transformed with hydrogen. And it made it what it is today. And it's only one of many that I really like. I mean, there's a lot of different things that I like. And again, I'm open-minded. So some people are like, no, the pharmaceutical industry is complete garbage. It's like, I don't believe that. There are certain pharmaceuticals that are good, and then there's a ton of them that are not. They just go overboard. They just want to, So I'm all about what works. That's why I don't really have just one mind, one way of thinking. Okay, let's see here. Linda says, "Are you familiar?" Oh no, yeah, okay. No, no, Linda, I am not, but I do know that the gut is crucially important, and there's a lot of great data that the Japanese have discovered about it, and that's the reason I'm using these fibers from fruits and vegetables. I'll talk about it more if you like. Hi, Greg. Do you have a whole house filtration system? If so, can you share the brand? No, I have just certain ones that are attached to the sink and stuff, but to be honest, whole house water filtration systems, it almost, I'm going to say, I don't want to say that it doesn't matter what brand, but kind of, because all they do is use carbon filters, guys. I mean, that's the only option for a whole house water system. It's carbon filters. That's it. Because there's only carbon filter, reverse osmosis filter. There are gravity filters and nanocarbon gravity filters, but all that stuff is just kind of okay. But the best is distillation. I mean, there's just nothing to compare. And you can't distill all the water in your house. Well, I guess you could try, but that would be crazy expensive, I think. And I've just never really looked into it because I don't own a home. And yeah, that's just not, a reality. And whole house systems are really expensive. And I mean, if you can afford that, that's really great too. And check this out. I literally don't have enough blueberries. So what are we going to do? Should I go get more blueberries? I have them in the garage. Is that what I should do? Because that means I'm going to have to leave you guys. Well, I guess I don't have to leave you guys for a second. I got the earpiece. Let's see. You guys let me know if this continues to pick up my voice. So, whole house water filtration system. If you were to get one of those, and they have some that are really inexpensive, actually. I've seen some. They're just like a big giant carbon filter and all the water goes through it. And you can actually do that and then use the water that comes out of your tap or whatever. And you can then distill it. I have, I actually have this is ridiculous, but I have every single water filtration modality. I got all the different types of filters. I tried them all. And yeah, but in the end, I already shared with you guys what's the best, so you guys don't have to spend the kind of money that I did on water. Okay, let's keep going. Northern Yeti. Everyone in the chat should get together and open a hydrogen smoothie bar. That's funny. Everybody should open up a hydrogen smoothie bar. It's funny. What if they don't like hydrogen smoothies? Or there should be one out there, but even if there was, would you go there and pay for one of these suckers? Do you have any idea what it costs to make one? Now, see, here's the thing. I always thought, oh man, getting healthy is going to be so expensive. But you know what? I'll tell you what the trick is. One, don't be wasteful. If you're throwing away food, then you're doing something wrong because you're throwing your money down the toilet. So you got to have a better rhythm of how you do your groceries. And then second, by the way, organic blueberries, that's what's going in next. You can buy really high quality food, which is what I do, organic fruits, vegetables. And then I just don't buy any garbage. So not buying any garbage food saves me money. And not throwing away food and wasting food saves me money. And then I realized it costs just about the same as it used to cost when I used to eat garbage food. So it's pretty close. And I do think you'll save a lot of money on medical bills. But the biggest thing is you're going to be happier and you're going to feel better. And that's just, to me, that's priceless, guys. But that's just my opinion. Just my opinion. All right, let's see. Next person's question. Good afternoon, says Nicole. Oh, yeah, somebody let me know. Everybody let me know, whoever's new to this show or new to the channel or whatever, or new to live, if it's your first time. Linda says, just wondering. Northern Yeti says, I was found on a Japanese golf course, I believe. I was found? Were you lost? Dreamer says, how do I find out about that hydrogen-based Japanese drug? Japanese-based Japanese drug. I don't know if you're talking about how to make hydrogen, which, by the way, I'm going to put hydrogen water into the smoothie right now. And because as you make the smoothie, you want to be pouring in either clean water or hydrogen water. Either one's fine, though, it just depends. But if you're asking about hydrogen water, you make it yourself. It's easy. You go to, the Japanese made it. Let me put it that way. The Japanese made it easy. There's a company, Japanese one, it's called, the website is holyhydrogen.com. And there you can get the device that is, the initial cost is a little bit, not super high actually, but if you know how much hydrogen is. And then what you do is, let's see here, you get the device, and if you learn how to take care of it, they're extremely reliable. You can make hydrogen for many, 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 many years, and a whole lot of it too. Okay, what's next? Organic walnuts. Shucks, I didn't get to soak them in water again. The hydrogen-based drug. How do I find out about that? Oh, yeah, I can't go into that on this. I mean, you can get it, heck, you can get it at the veterinary store. That's where I get it. Okay, you know what I'm going to do with this, just because I'm going to do this. You guys, I guess, can watch. I'm going to soak my nuts in hydrogen water. Let's just do that, because I know I'm going to want some later, and I tend to forget to do this. I should do it at night. That's when I usually do it. I usually do it at night. Am I going to have enough water here? Yeah, I guess so. And I like to soak them in there because part of it's how that reduces or removes a lot of the oxalates. But the more important part is the nuts are dry, and you want them to pull water in, because one of the keys to good health that I would say almost nobody talks about is how much water the colon requires. It's kind of ridiculous, actually, how much water it really requires to be healthy. It's just crazy. And so you don't want dry food into your colon. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Okay, this might be a bad idea here on camera, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. I bought prune juice, And I'm very regular, so I don't really need it, but I've been reading, I mean, I'm always learning about stuff. And as you guys know, boron has been something interesting to me lately. And so prunes have a lot of boron. And so I'm going to go ahead and have some on an empty stomach. I've been wanting to do it, but empty stomach is the way that I wanted to do it. So not a ton. So I'm just going to have a little bit this morning. Very important to stay regular. That's all I can say about that. And all these fruits and vegetables and everything do keep me regular, actually, quite regular. I thought this would just be a little extra, but I really wanted the boron, actually, from a natural source. I got to say, that actually tastes quite good. You know what? I'm also going to I've been trying to finish up all these supplements that I got because I don't really use them anymore. My protocol is working great. I don't need any of this stuff. Some of the companies send me, so I'm just going to use up these little enzymes that they sent me. Technically, I should do an empty stomach, which I am. I don't know if they go well with prune juice. Okay, good enough. All right, let's keep rolling here. My secret ingredient's the next one, guys. Let's see. How do I find? Okay, Northern Yeti says golf. Golf. You found on a golf course. Linda says they are asking about the one you can't talk about. Rhymes with tiger lectin. Tiger lectin. Oops, I shouldn't. Boy, okay. This is dangerous. Dangerous ground, guys. Don't say that word. You know what? If anybody's on here who's on Twitter, go to my Twitter account. Well, obviously follow or whatever. But I just sent out a funny tweet. I think it was last night about this exact subject. And you know what? Maybe I'll post some information there. Actually, there you go. I'll answer your questions there because we got free speech on Twitter because it is owned by a guy who believes in free speech. And you know what? I'm down with that. I do like eccentric billionaires who believe in free speech and and are would be what I call pro-humans. Well, my friend just told me that I'm low on battery, which is fine. Problem is that I just hit the wrong button. Hopefully it doesn't hang up on everybody. And if it does, I guess I could just start again or tomorrow. What is your Twitter handle? I think it's, so I'm not a big computer guy, but I think it's just Uprising 144K. Or try Hydrogen Man, because that is me. Secret ingredient, here it comes. One of the best ever. In fact, more people are going to learn about the magic of this stuff, which I can't talk about because, again, no free speech here. It's all related to the stuff that's important. So frustrating. I wish I could just say what I want to say, for goodness sakes. Is it worthwhile to install a carbon filter for the shower head? Is it worthwhile? Yeah, it's worthwhile. But remember how small it is and how quick it's going to get dirty. But yeah, it's worthwhile. Probably for the whole house, it's probably a little more worthwhile. Those filters just constantly get dirty. You just got to be okay with changing them all the time. Okay, our secret ingredient is natto. Why? Well, again, longevity. That's kind of what we're supposed to be talking about today. Longevity, please comment if it's your first time in the channel. You got to stir it 100 times at least, according to the data. Why? Because it activates it. Because this is literally alive. And see, that's part of my own personal, well, it's not just my perspective, right? But it's because of this lot of stuff that I've also read and everything. The more life you bring into your body, the better. You want your food to kind of be alive, not like real dead. Even though I know when you grill it and all that, it tastes so good, but it's carcinogenic. We all know about carcinogens at this point in regards to the data. And causing cancer. And I mean, that only makes sense, right? Just like cigarettes are carcinogen and things of that nature. But whatever the case is, I'm just showing you guys how to do this today. You can go and everybody do what you need to do or how you live. You know, it's most people, they have a hard time really getting healthier, I guess. Now look how it's getting all foamy. See how it's activating? But just hydrogen water and just clean water, just that combination, in my opinion. Now, granted, I've seen it, but the point is, I'm just saying, in my opinion, is one of the easiest things you can do to improve your health, because everything else gets more complicated, like eliminating foods, eating healthier, buying all organic, all this stuff. But if you just literally just have clean water, because you wouldn't believe the stuff's in our water, and I personally think that's a huge part of what makes people sick. I mean, I had a doctor who contacted me. Whoops, that was not good. Yeah. See, now I feel like it's contaminated. Oh well. Sometimes you just have to not be a super germaphobe, which I am. It's not that I'm a germaphobe, actually. I just like things clean. I think that's why that's why I like the Japanese culture. They're like so clean. Did you guys hear about what AOC told Japan? My goodness. Anybody hear about this? If not, I can talk about it if you like. It's kind of crazy. Well, I just want to say you have to convince me to eat more vegetables and fruit. You have convinced me. Veggies FTW. What's FTW? For the world? I don't know that I guessed that right. Okay, what's next? I'm gonna grab banana. Let's see here. Let's go with you know what? We're gonna have to go with a big banana or two smaller ones because I just realized I didn't put any raisins in this today because we're out. Which I don't normally put raisins in it, so we're gonna need a little sweetness. Hope this is not making anybody jealous out there. Okay, here comes a good smoothie, huh? Well, it's my breakfast. You know, I'm actually doing this all the time. Well, one, to answer your guys' questions because I have some free time in the mornings. But, and I think my work got canceled today. Well, some of it. I'll still do some work, but I do this to show you guys that it can be done. So you guys can hopefully get in a good rhythm. Okay, we got some chia seeds soaked in hydrogen water. We're running kind of low, which means I'm probably going to have to make some on camera as we speak. So if anybody, you've seen me do it before. I do this every what? I do it like every 2 or 3 days, don't I? Okay, let's get some chia seeds. Why? Well, a lot of minerals, a lot of nutrients, help with that overcoming of deficiencies. Let's go ahead and make more of these hydrogen chia seeds. What we're going to do, well, I guess I should show you. First, you pour half a jar. For the very few people in here, for the 11 people watching. But you know what? When it's a small room, at least everybody's got to work. Everybody has a moment where they can comment and they can actually reply. If there was like thousands of people in the room and everybody's saying something at once, you can't even see people's comments. It's too much. Okay, 1 scoop, 2 scoops, and I either go 3 or 2.5, whatever the next one is. Okay. Chia seeds, organic, fiber, calcium, omegas, iron. You know, people take iron pills. Guys, all I can tell you is that I like to get my stuff from food. Don't know what they put in these pills, and probably inorganic iron, and this stuff will get all clumpy and create a total mess in this. So what you have to do is immediately fill it up with more water, which I'm doing right now. I highly recommend extremely clean water, the cleanest basically. And if you can put hydrogen in it, even better. The moment you fill it up, you got to start shaking it, like literally right away. It's a good time for me to answer. Oh, there you go. Veggies for the win. Well, Mr. Dreamore, I mean, I hate to say it. I feel like it's a no-brainer. I don't understand why there's even any arguments about it. Some people are like totally pro no veggies. It's like, okay. Well, I mean, whatever you want to do, remember, you're the one living with that body. Okay, Jimmy Harris says, is there a way to speak with you about hydrogen water protocols? Yeah, Jimmy. Well, one, you can watch video 337, and the other is you can you can, and by the way, you got to keep shaking this. If you don't, it gets all weird and clumped up. I know the routine now because I've done it wrong so many times. You can email me. Email me at uprising144k@gmail.com. Make sure to include your phone number, and I'll try to give you a call if I can today. I should have hopefully more free time. I tend to try to call people when I'm like walking or, like little exercise stuff. Is natto found only at very specialized food stores, or is it easy to find? Well, you're not going to go to, your basic store to find it. You got to go to an Asian food store. That's where you're going to find it because Americans don't eat much of this. Okay, I'm going to set this down for a moment. We'll see if it starts bulking up. If it starts bulking up, I got to grab it again and continue to shake it because we're going on to the next one, which is celery. Why celery? Because it's good for you. Has a lot of really great fiber. This is what I keep saying. I mean, I'm always beating a dead horse here. I feel like I'm repeating the same stuff, but the Japanese have already discovered enough to already convince me. That's why once I'm convinced, then what I do is I try to look for the best modality of it, just like hydrogen. It took years to convince me. Once I was convinced, I became much more interested in protocols and how to make hydrogen water the best way as compared to everything that it does, because my goodness, what it does, the list is extremely long and it's just too long. There's just too much data, actually, too much data, which we can clearly see it's good for us. So if that's the case, got to find the best way to make it, which is really what I ended up focusing on and shared that information with everybody and pissed off a few companies in the process. Sorry for the I mean, believe it or not, there's companies that use chemicals like sodium hydroxide, which is lye, main ingredient in Drano, to make hydrogen. And to me, that's complete lunacy, right? But to other people, it's cheap. That's why. And that's the problem. People want to go cheap, and that is exactly what creates problems. Same thing with your food. Yeah, maybe it's more expensive to buy organic, but then you're going to end up with problems that are going to cost you either your life or a whole lot of money to get yourself all, radiated or whatever. So you always want to prevent the problem. It's like a car with rust. You want to prevent it from rusting rather than waiting till it's all rusted out, and then what are you going to do? There's almost nothing you can do. It turns to dust. I guess you could just kiss yourself goodbye, which is very sad. We don't want to do that. We want to live a good life, and while we're here, make the best of it. But again, that's just my Looney Tunes idea. So nobody commented. Did everybody hear about what AOC did? And maybe you guys don't even know who AOC is, and if you don't, I guess we can get into that. Comment below. Let's see what the comments are. Nothing yet. Bulky plug. So nobody heard about AOC. Okay, AOC is that woman who her name is Ocasio, I think Ortiz Cortez, something like that. They just call her Alexandra Cortez. I don't know. Why do they call her AOC? Alexandra Ocasio Cortez. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think she works in California. We've all seen what's happened in that state. Okay, somebody says, Draymore, that's why my passion is early childhood education. The first 5 years of life are the most important. I absolutely agree with you, Mr. Draymore. Absolutely. In fact, you should see. I mean, it's not like I'm always trying to pick on the Japanese or anything, but you should see their educational system and how they treat the children in the first years of their life. It is remarkable. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. You should see how they feed those kids in school compared to American schools. They literally have nutritionists in school, and they don't even have any janitors. I don't know if you know that. They make the kids clean the school. Have a little bit of pride, right, in your own school. Yeah, you're not going to want to be messing it all up and vandalizing if you're the one who has to go and fix it the next day. I don't know. Seems like other countries could take a few tips. Well, the whole reason I brought Ocasio-Cortez, AOC lady, if you guys know who she is because she was trying to tell Japan how to do some things, and she's trying to influence them to make changes. And I'm thinking, girl, first of all, it had to do with same-sex marriage and LGBTQDs and all this stuff, right? And I'm thinking, well, first of all, I think we got bigger problems than that at this time. I just really do. I think we got much bigger problems. Now, that's just my opinion. I mean, we're talking about all these crazy wars going on, and we're talking about, you know, the survival of mankind, maybe, you know? We got like all these big things, and she's talking about LGBTQs. I'm like, okay. She's trying to tell Japan that they should do that. She's like, oh, you need to allow the Japanese to, you need to not discriminate against them or something rather than the Japanese are like, what? Yeah, you should be okay with transgenderism, and I don't know all the terminologies. Sorry, I don't keep up to date that much on that stuff, to be quite honest with you. But she's trying to tell the Japanese how to do things, and I'll tell you from what I read, and I want to read the whole thing. I want to find the actual response from the Japanese, because all they really said was that the Japanese didn't take too kindly to some strange woman whose state is another chaos coming around saying, hey, you guys should do what we're doing. And I'd like to see, because that's one thing, you're not going to go tell Japanese how to run their country. Okay, let's see. Okay, Sonji says, do you know anyone who has recovered from emphysema using hydrogen water and inhaling hydrogen? If not, can you refer me to some? If not, refer me to some studies. My best friend just found out she has emphysema. Actually, yes. I have known people who have not, I don't know about like totally fixing emphysema, because I mean, think about it. You're not going to take somebody who's been smoking for, 50 years or just something crazy and their lungs are all full of tar and say, hey, is this going to make me brand new again? But I will say there have been people with emphysema and other issues where they've had problems with oxygen saturation. And by the way, here's another data for you, which apparently somebody said earlier, don't trust the data, but I've seen it, and it works. So the data was clearly correct. Basically, the data shows us that the pH of your blood really helps in regards to proper oxygenation and of the blood. So what we would call, the oxygen saturation levels. And guess what helps, guys? Well, if it has to do with the pH, which it does, drinking things, well, not just drinking, but basically eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. That's the simple answer. Eating a lot of fruits and vegetables helps regulate that pH. That helps with oxygen saturation, and also hydrogen does, by the way. Hydrogen appears, let me put it that way. Hydrogen appears to actually affect the pH also. And I've known people, because I did trust the data, who had issues and with oxygen saturation, and they would literally inhale and drink hydrogen water, and all of a sudden their oxygen levels would go up, where before they just had problems getting their oxygen levels up. So it clearly works, and for anybody with emphysema, I would highly, highly recommend that. And also, okay guys, I can put one more carrot, or I can put one banana. I'm gonna go with the carrot. I have so many bananas though. I just bought some at the store yesterday because they were on sale. Banana will make it more sweet. Carrot. Do you guys have any input? What do you think? Banana or carrot? I just think the banana will fit better. I'm just gonna use a banana. Gosh, I really want to do the carrot, but these bananas are gonna go bad. Let me see if I can find a small banana. Boy, these bananas are big today. Well, okay, we're just gonna go with an extra banana. That's what I'm gonna do. I tried to put a big one earlier so that I wouldn't have to put any more, but I guess I'm just gonna put one more. See how they just really smash in there perfect. That's why I like them. Okay, now we're about to put another secret ingredient. And then I'll sit down and plug in my phone because it's about to die, and then maybe I can answer a few more questions. There are no questions here, only answers. All right, so AOC telling Japan how to run their clean, low crime rate, low homelessness rate country. Very good, AOC. See how that turns out, huh? I wonder what AOC stands for. I would say a whole lot of nonsense, but maybe a whole lot of craziness. But hey, I'm just kidding. I'm sure she's a really nice girl. Just because people have a different perspective doesn't mean they're not nice. Maybe she's a really sweet girl. I don't doubt that she's a super kind, super sweet girl. She probably means well. But hey, you know what? The road to hell is paved with good intentions sometimes, isn't it? That's all I got to say about that. Laughs like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Alrighty, let me move some things around here. Get this hydrogen gas inhalation rolling here. Okay, let's get on with the magic ingredients, shall we? Ta-da! Minerals. Why am I getting minerals? Anybody want to comment below? Come on. How many times? I feel like I'm repeating this every day so that you guys can get it. If you combine the minerals with the fibers of fruits and vegetables, you get greater absorption, according to the data, which some people don't trust, which is totally cool. But they did show people rebuilding bone. They did not expect that in that study. So that data, see, they were going for one thing and it turned out something else. And that's why I like to learn about all these different studies, so that way we can learn how to do things and learn what's best. Always keep an open mind. At least that's just my personal perspective. Always trying to keep an open mind, unless it's just plain nonsense. Like, you know, plain nonsense stuff. Okay, let's see if this will work. It's working. All right, so G, hopefully that answered your question about emphysema. But yes, I do think that I know that hydrogen will be extremely good for somebody with emphysema. Okay, let's let this settle to the bottom. And let's see, Draymore says, actually, I am in university now, and I have been considering moving to Japan because I love the culture and want to teach English there. Hey, you can. All right, let's let that blend up. Meanwhile, let's take the compost out to the slippery, wet snow out here. It's crazy. Wow, I gotta take this compost bucket out. It's full of fruits and veggies. All right, and then I'm gonna get ready here to start bottling up these smoothie. Okay, I like to shut it off periodically to let it settle a little bit. All the stuff in the smoothie settles, and then one more time, and then it's pretty ready to go. This is the way I live. Oh, whoops. I forgot. That's pretty cool. I forgot I had the microphone in my ear, and I was all just singing to myself. I don't know why I forgot that everybody was there. I guess the blender was so loud. It sounds like it's got a few things to cut up there. Okay, let's go grab one more jar because I am going to be sealing. This jar's kind of bent. Or the lid, I mean, is bent. Should we just try it anyway? Because that's when they don't seal right. See, this one's bent too. How did all these get bent? Okay, here we go. Boy, I just have a feeling I'm going to want a lot of smoothie today. And more magic ingredients to put in this smoothie, of course. So I do want to cut these with a little hydrogen water. That's what I do quite regularly. So on the right, but I already drink so much hydrogen water in the morning. That's really the best thing to do. You don't have to cut it, but I do. See, just a tiny little bit. Just a little bit of. Okay, now last one. Now, did it take that long? Not so bad. Okay, so this one we're going to fill up all the way. Let's hope this thing doesn't just spew out smoothie at me. Oh boy. Right to the rim. Pretty close. I've had it to where it goes past the rim, but okay. This one we fill up all the way. Try not to spill any. I hate wasting food, especially good organic food. I love farmers. Give me a bumper sticker. I love organic farmers. Okay, and then this one we're going to go halfway. Why are we going to go halfway? Because we're going to add some secret stuff to it. Why we're adding the secret stuff, we're going to seal this one up for later. Because that is what we do. Now, you know what? Whoops, I just turned it on by accident. Oh boy. And I just dropped it in a smoothie. Nice. I just became a buffoon on camera live. Nice one, dude. All right, let's see if I can put this lid in here. I don't know why. I'm just gonna do it because I'm just gonna see if it works better. That's, I'm gonna experiment right here live with you guys. Let's just see what happens. Okay, let's see if that works. Well, that's doing its thing. We're gonna add the secret ingredients. We're gonna add the secret ingredients to the smoothie. Okay, let's keep going. Somebody was saying they want to go teach English. All right, Dreamer, that's right. Cool, dude. You might want to consider it. You might not like it once you get there. I just got to say that it's a very different culture, and people think it'll be all fun and games. But I can tell you about my experiences in the past, and it takes a while. It's like an acquired taste. Northern Yeti says, "Do they tell her to consider harakiri?" Harikari. You said harikari, but yeah, that would be funny. But yeah, I think something along those lines. Sonji says tennis player. No, I don't think she's a tennis player. Dramer says there's such a kind and respectful culture. Yes, I agree with that. That's why I like them. Congressman, I mean, Sonji says. Congresswoman. Yeah, that's her. Linda says carrot. Sorry, Linda, too late. I already put the banana. Nicole says carrot. See, you guys are probably right. I really should put the carrot, but I go off of how much I have also, and I just have so many bananas. And so let's see if this actually worked. Oh my goodness, it works that way. Maybe I've been doing this wrong the whole time. Look at that. Learn something every day, right? We got to do a little bit of we need a little bit of data, right? How many times we tried? How did we try it? How did it work? I'm all about the data. Okay, vitamin D3 and K2 is one of my secret ingredients. Why? Pair with the fruits and vegetables. 4, 5. I'm going to go 6 today. I don't even know why I'm doing that. I should be sticking to 4 or 5, but that's okay. It's not going to hurt me to go 6. Like a big deal. Next one, boron. Why boron? Good for ligaments, bones, brain health, and sex hormones. This is something that I think people need to be doing more if you want to keep your hormones, because the problem is as you age, that's what happens. Your hormones, you lose the testosterone, the estrogen. By the way, for men and women, this is not just for one or the other. Now I can pour the rest of it in there. Why? Because then it gets all mixed in there. And apparently that stuff doesn't taste very good. I've had somebody else try it because I just put it in the smoothie. And when I put everything in the smoothie like this, guys, I don't taste a thing. It tastes delicious to me. All right, let's do this now. It's all ready to go, but I'm going to add yet another secret ingredient. More nutrition. Remember, the whole point of this smoothie is to just get the nutrition I can in my body. Hemp hearts. Wow, very creamy. Wow, quite delicious. Barely tasted ginger. I feel like I need more ginger. Well, I mean, I don't need it. Hemp hearts on it. The most well-balanced omega in the world. This looks a little expensive, but I just bought another bag of it yesterday. So yeah, back to AOC with Japan. Like I said, they didn't take too kindly to an outsider coming and telling them what to do. You should see what they did to the Crusaders who came to the Catholics who said, hey, why don't you come and do what we say. We're one of the few countries that didn't take too kindly to that. Then I think they only tried once or twice. And that was that. They left the Japanese alone. Japanese are nice, kind people, peaceful, but they don't like to be told what to do with their nation because, well, in my opinion, they're quite intelligent. Well, actually, not just my opinion. I looked up the intelligence of the countries. Who are the smartest countries? Japan is one of their top 3. So the top 3 countries are countries that are, well, smart. And they are. They really are smart. Okay, let's see if we can now answer people's questions while I inhale my hydrogen. Why do I inhale my hydrogen while I eat? For numerous reasons. I could go into them if it's that important. And I'm going to take my earpiece out now that I'm not moving around. So hopefully you guys can still hear. Okay. If you can still hear me, let me know. And let's see if I can move the hydrogen machine a little bit so I can actually read the comments here, because that's what I'm trying to look at my camera here. Let's see here, hold on. This new tripod. That's the perfect angle for me, I think. Okay, let's read your guys' comments here. Carrot, carrot, carrot. Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. I think you're right, though. I agree with you. I should have done the carrot. I'm gonna get my bib on so I don't stain my white shirt. All right, good. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Thank you for that. Okay. Sonji Palmer says she has quit smoking. Hopefully it's not too late. I'm telling you right now, get on hydrogen gas inhalation and the water. She will feel the difference. There's a guy who had really bad lung damage who was who contacted me, and he's been using the hydrogen. He said he's never felt better. That was one of the more recent ones. Okay. The body can heal, guys. Diane McKenzie says, hi, Greg. Hi, Diane. Linda Heelsman says, how many drops of trace minerals did you use? Just a random amount. I mean, I could put 10, 20 in a smoothie, roughly. I get minerals already from the food. I'm just trying to put more so that I can get more absorption of more minerals for my health. Minerals are very essential also for the body. Like I said, you don't want it to be deficient in anything. Nutrients, minerals, even oxygen, hydrogen. This is really good. I was clearly hungry. I mean, I could have gone without food actually longer, but because I do intermediate fasting, and technically it's been how long since it's been since I ate? 12, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 17 hours. Not that long, but okay. Linda Hulsman says, can you talk about the jar sealer? Yeah, I like to seal it because I like to seal in the nutrients. As this ages, the smoothie will go bad. And so sealing it helps keep it fresh. So I can have another one for later. This is all I eat for breakfast and lunch, guys. Now, what's funny is, this is what I have for breakfast and lunch to overcome any nutritional deficiencies. This is my vitamin. Plus, it gives me a bunch of fiber and minerals. It gives me everything. Then for dinner, I have healthy dinners if you've seen me post them. Thanks for all the thumbs up, by the way, guys. We got 20 people in here, but only 8 thumbs up. It's not important, but it helps the algorithm. Shows a little love to the channel. Yeah, so the jar sealer just keeps it fresh. And then I have a healthy dinner. And my dinners are definitely, in my opinion, not enough to cover any nutritional deficiency. But if you were to look at my dinner, you'd probably be like, oh, that's much better. You can find the jar sealer. I did a video on it, Linda. Just go to the video. It's like 400 and something. I don't know if you know how to go to my channel and look at all my videos. And just go there, and I made a video, and I put a link for it. You can just click on it. It's really cheap. I think they're like 30 something bucks. Okay. Let's keep going. Dramer says, I have been interested in Japan culture for 15 years. I will just play the gaijin card so that they don't work me to death. I know, dude, they're brutal. But as much as I love the Japanese culture, they're definitely not perfect in my opinion. There's things that they could improve and change. They work themselves to death. They just really, really want it. They're always striving for perfection, hence the reason I like them, and hence the reason they actually ended up making the best hydrogen machine, because they just work tirelessly to make the best one. But me, I just go off data, so it's clearly the best one, you know? Okay, Kathy says, I'd like to know more about hydrogen water. Okay, Kathy, what would you like to know? It's a long list. All I'll say is that it's very unique. It functions as a selective antioxidant. The majority of disease is actually caused by oxidative stress, is what was discovered. But it affects so many things. Your gene expression. It affects certain genes like the P53 gene in regards to like how it monitors for cancer. It shows real positive attributes for the pH of the blood. I've seen it work personally on blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, glaucoma. What was that one that somebody had? Traumatic brain injury, Alzheimer's, dementia, lung issues, arthritis. Gosh, what else? So many things. I mean, the list, it's so ridiculously good for your health. It's just like the biggest no-brainer in my opinion. That and clean water is also really important. That's what I do. Just share you guys what I do. If you have any more questions about the hydrogen water, let me know. Kathy, I'll tell you though, for me, after I learned all the amazing things about it, and there's so many studies, I mean, it's ridiculous. You could read for years. But the most important part I realized is how you make it and how you use it is the most important part. It's like saying vitamins are super important for you, but okay, but what's the best vitamin? What's the best way to get your nutrients? Well, this is what I've invented, and it's working quite well. I was shocked to find out how many people, I wasn't sure if I should say this, how many people, I'll just say that are around my age are on pharmaceuticals. It's unbelievable. I mean, so many, it's crazy. It's literally borderline lunacy. Can't believe it. Okay, next. Linda says we hear you. Great. Kathy says, can we get tested to find out what minerals and vitamins we need? You can, Linda, and I've done it. The problem is it's extremely expensive and inconvenient, and I would say we already know everybody's gonna be deficient in nutrients. If you just do this as a multivitamin, I have found it to basically take care of the nutrient deficiencies. Instead of going and paying to find out, you're gonna need, if you're not taking vitamin D, for example, you're gonna be deficient in vitamin D. I mean, it's just the way it is. You're better off just taking everything you need and spending your money there. That's my opinion. You can go do it if you want. Maybe your insurance covers it. But there is urine and blood work that you can do to get an idea. But you know, it's like a lot of people who are like, how can I find out if I'm unhealthy? It's like, come on, guys. You know, regardless, you need all this stuff. It's, you know, that's just my opinion. It's cheaper. Okay. How can you find the jar? Oh, Linda, how can you find the jar sealer? Like I said, you look up the video and it's got the link. Kathy says, does hydrogen water help with hyperthyroid? Well, I'm certainly not going to make that claim. All I can tell you is that my mother has a thyroid issue. She's been following the hydrogen protocol, not as well as I'd like her to be actually quite upfront. I wish she would drink more of the water, but she started doing more of the inhalation because she had a medical issue that popped up. And I said, Mom, you're not using enough hydrogen. She did. And it's either completely gone or almost completely gone. So just great results. But she happens to have a thyroid issue. And every time she goes to the doctor, they keep finding that her thyroid is getting better and better. And they keep having to minimize her medication. They're like, what is going on here? Especially at her age, because she's had it forever. So it does appear to have an effect on it. But I think it depends on what's going on with the thyroid, because I'm going to be making a video, maybe I'll even make it this weekend, some very new interesting information about long-term hydrogen use. That's the reason that I think it's got to be pure and done right, because you're going to use it for the long term. Northern Yeti, do you ever hear from Santos? Learn about you from his channel. I think you've told me that before, Northern Yeti. And yes, I chat with Santos all the time, dude. We message each other online. He's in the process of moving or something, so he said we'll talk more when he moves out. Kathy Rennick says, well water has lots of calcium, and how can I bypass that problem? Well, that's why I distill my water. It just gets rid of everything, including all that calcium, especially if it's inorganic calcium. But yeah, well water is usually quite dirty. I was a little shocked to learn that from the data. And turns out well water is usually more contaminated. And personally, I mean, it doesn't matter where I get my water, I'm still going to carbon distill it because I know the well water is dirty. and you'll see it. There's a tank. I should go grab my other distiller that I was using for a long time. You should see the tank. It's filled with crap. And that's all the stuff that you filter out, the leftover crap. So, yeah, there's definitely stuff in our water. Stuff that I don't want in my body. If anybody else wants to have it, that's cool. I don't judge. You go ahead and drink whatever you want. Not only was that good, I'm gonna go get more. All right. This is the way we do things. Okay. I like to inhale the hydrogen gas while I eat because there's data. Sorry, I keep going on about the info. I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's what it is. It was information that shows that we age with every meal we eat. And hydrogen, in my opinion, combats that. It has been shown to be anti-aging and protects the body from the oxalates in the food also. And yeah, plus I think that inhaling the hydrogen helps absorb even more of the nutrients. It's just good for me, why not? I have the hydrogen machine right here. Okay, Kathy says, I have a sediment and carbon filter. Was shocked at all the calcium that flushed out. Yeah, exactly what I'm telling people. There's that stuff that's in your water is so mind-blowing, and the way it's going to affect your health. So if you care about your health, cheers. Yeah. Kathy says, which hydrogen filter do you recommend with well water and special treatment needed for water? Well, first of all, there is no hydrogen filter. I assume you're talking about a water filter. Like I already showed in multiple videos, carbon distiller is what I recommend. Here, I'll just show you again, I guess. Right there. That's how you clean water. See how it's dripping every little bit? Takes a while to make the cleanest water, but that's okay. That's what I'm doing. And I made videos on it. The last 2 videos, I believe, were on that subject. I was trying to help the people of Ohio. I mean, they're worried about getting clean water. It's like, just get a carbon distiller. I mean, they're not that expensive. You know, they're affordable. Okay, some bottled water actually doesn't freeze. Yeah, I don't trust bottled water. That's why I clean it myself. I don't buy bottled water. It's the most expensive way to get water, and I don't trust it. And I just don't think it's that clean. Clean it yourself, you know. Carbon distiller, well, here. Let's go over this again. Lab testing. Data. I know some people don't believe in data, but that's what science is for, my friends. You can see the chemicals. Let's see. Oh, I see. You just found me? Yeah, just go check out my YouTube channel. It's free. Uprising 144K. I mean, all sorts of contaminants. Here's the numbers that were in the water. And after they go through the carbon distiller, this is the number after. 0. Look at all that. 0, 0, 0, 0. Look at that. 99, greater than 99.9%. That's impressive, guys. More chemicals. Woohoo. Zeros. Look at that. I mean, I'm telling you, this stuff's impressive. That's why I use it. What else? I mean, there's pages of this stuff. You guys want to see some more? More chemicals. Zeros. I mean, we could just keep going. The one that's really impressive, actually, that I didn't even know about was radioactive contaminants. Now that is scary stuff. How do you get that out of your water? Well, this stuff gets 99 point, greater than 99%. That's good enough for me. God knows what was in my water before that. This one's just 99.8%, greater than 99.8. I mean, this is good stuff, guys. Now, the stuff that almost nobody ever talks about is the biological contaminants. So you're using a carbon filter to drink the water? No, Kathy. How many times do I have to say this? Carbon distiller. It's a distiller. That's just hilarious. Just go to, you know what, just go to the website, mypurewater.com, because that's this company that I personally use, and that's the one I like. Go to mypurewater.com. Every single machine they sell makes this quality of water. Every single one. And if you want a coupon, I can give you a discount code. It's uprising144K. That, you know, so their cheapest one's like 600 and something bucks. With the coupon code, it's like 500 and something bucks. But they have many different machines to make the cleanest water. So just go there. It's so easy. It's that easy. You can get one and clean your water, or you can't. It's that simple. It is a distiller with carbon. It's a combination of both, because carbon won't do it alone. In fact, carbon is the smallest part of it. Carbon is just here. I'll show it to you. Hold on. Let's go and get the carbon filter. So the machine distills the water, and that's really what you want. You want something that will distill it. The thing is that distillation, I won't go into all the details of why it misses a few things. Just at the end though, it just misses a few things at the end. And that's what this is designed for. This little tray with holes, it slides in right where the water is dripping from to go into the container. And there's a carbon filter, and if you can see, it's a circle. It's a special type of carbon filter because it just catches a few things at the very end. Because most of the water is clean at that point, but there's a few little contaminants that do actually get through, and I mean very few. Like out of thousands of stuff, it's probably just like 4 things. Okay, the website is mypurewater.com. And no, the calcium in your water will not tear up the distiller, because what you do is it takes everything out of the water and it goes into a tank. You have to clean that tank every once in a while. It all depends on how dirty your water is. That's one of the reasons I actually put filtered water into my distiller, because I just happen to have the water filter. But with my last distiller, I ran it for years and I only cleaned it like 3 times. Because the quality of my water is pretty good. Some people might have to clean it every couple months. So yeah, mypurewater.com. Why doesn't somebody type it in for her? Somebody type it in for her. mypurewater.com, discount code uprising144K. How's that? Does that work? Boy, these guys, everybody's, I don't know. It's good stuff though. I like it. You're gonna love your clean water. I'll tell you that much, Kathy. You're gonna love it. I love it. Well, guys, I'm almost done with my smoothie. Coming to the end of the day here, or as far as end of the video is what I really meant. Go ahead and any questions or anything else, go ahead and comment now, because I'm gonna shut her down real soon. I gotta do the rest of my routine. Is there anything to filter whole house? Nothing like carbon distillation. I mean, the only type of whole house water filter you're basically gonna find is carbon, and it won't get everything out. It just kind of helps, and that's pretty much that. There's some that are very cheap, some that are very expensive. I'd probably go with a cheaper one. There's some reverse osmosis ones, you know. I'm sure a whole house water filter would be awesome, but I'm sure they'll typically be expensive. They're not going to filter everything out. And I don't own a house, so I never really looked into it. And even if I got a house, Maybe eventually I'll do it, but probably not for quite some time. I don't know if I'll ever own a home. Could hydrogen therapy help on high blood pressure? Jose Antonio Farias. In my opinion, yes, I've seen it. I've seen it literally resolve blood pressure in lots of people. But if you do the full hydrogen protocol, I have sediment filter with carbon filter. Well, there you go, Kathy. You probably have as much as you can do. And then you just have to filter the water you drink or the one you're going to make hydrogen water out of. And Antonio, was it? No, Jose Antonio. Following the hydrogen protocol with my protocol, basically, with the hydrogen water, easy to resolve blood pressure. Super easy. Yeah, having an easy issue like that is a good thing. It's when you have really complicated stuff that is much, much more difficult. Well, it is a dry day today. I think sometimes that do some lotion. Had the heater on all night because it was so cold outside. It's snowing. I think that dried me out a little bit, but that's okay. That's what lotion's for, I guess. All right, almost done, guys. Any other last questions? You guys are doing great. Hope you guys can actually follow the protocols. Why do you call it hydrogen protocol? Because that's what it is. There's a specific protocol that you follow on how to use the hydrogen. I mean, it's my protocol. I'm the one who created it. You know, what else would you like me to call it, Kathy? I can call it something else if it's better for you. Whether it's my protocol, the hydrogen protocol, smoothie protocol. You got to know how to do it. Just my opinion, I guess. Which water filter do you recommend? Really? The ones from mypurewater.com. Didn't we go over this? mypurewater.com. Anything there makes the water the same purity, meaning extremely clean. So it just depends on which one you want for the options, the price, but they all make the same quality of water, which is basically super, super clean water. Was nobody going to type it in there for her? I think I'm confused with water filter versus the smoothies. I think you are, Kathy, because we're talking, there's water filters, there's hydrogen generators, and then there's the smoothies. Let's see, Jose Antonio Farias says, I'm always in awe on how well you pronounce my name. I assume you mean pronounce your name. Well, cool. I had a cousin named Jose Antonio. Very, very nice guy. Super intelligent. Ridiculous. Made me feel stupid. Jose Antonio. All right, so this is how I finish my smoothie. And because I don't like to waste anything, I guess I'll show you guys how I don't waste anything, or at least how I attempt to not waste anything. Let's see here. Let's see, how do we do this? Well, the way that I do it is take a spatula. I don't want to waste any of my powders that I put in here. I don't want to waste any of my fruits and vegetables, organic, grown by organic farmers who made the extra effort to try to grow the food cleaner without pesticides, and for that, I thank you. Very grateful. So I'm showing my gratitude by not wasting any little bit, if possible, if possible. Now, I'm not saying it's the perfect way. But remember, I am a buffoon, so my little simple monkey mind is like, well, if I just scrape a little bit off of here, right? I'm not wasting as much. Not only that, I want more of it in my jar. Okay, I think it's getting to be that time. Almost time to go. Time to say goodbye. Okay. That's how I tend to do it. Just a little spatula. Una casuita. Todo. In the fridge. I'm live right now, so go ahead and grab whatever you want. Grab whatever you would like to drink. I'll drink some smoothie. Well, okay, guys. I think we're good now. Hope I answered all your questions. Kathy, I hope you get your questions answered, but I think you're missing a couple things. If you want the hydrogen generator, that's from holyhydrogen.com. If you want the water filter, that's from mypurewater.com. And if you want the stuff for the smoothie, that's from ishoppurium.com. And those are really the main three things that I recommend because those are the main three things that I use. I did put a little water in at the end here. Maybe somebody can write those 3 websites for Kathy, because I can't type in the comments when I'm live on a video like this. All right, guys. Hopefully that answered her questions. If not, somebody help her. Let's see here. What did she say? Jose Antonio says exactly. Kathy says, I'd put some water in it and swish it around. That will help flush more nutrients out. Yes, I actually do that. I do it at the end, though, because some of the stuff still seems to stick. So first I use a spatula, then I do the water, and then I clean up the mess I just made. So, okay. All right, guys, is anybody going to write that? Well, all the websites, I'm sure. You know what? They're on my videos, Kathy. Okay, it's a 3-step process. Pure water, hydrogen, and vitamins. That's right. You overcome nutritional deficiencies. The body works best when it's hydrated. And hydrogen, well, it's just straight up magic. I don't know what else to say about that. It's just next level. I mean, we already talked a lot about the benefits today, so I won't go into all that. But yes, they work synergistically together. It's interesting that you said 3, like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It's just kind of funny. 3 things. But yeah, nutritional deficiencies, clean water, and hydrogen. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for all the thumbs up, all the support. Everybody have a great day. I'll see you guys next time on the next one.